welcome to the Christiana 321. I am the Christiana, and 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hang on a sec. So, what I want to talk to you about today, hang on a sec. So anyway, as I was saying, what I really want to talk to you guys about today is, hang on 1 second. Okay. I read this really great book recently, A World Without Email. And oh my gosh, doesn't that sound amazing? I don't know about you, but if you're a professional in the world today, then email is awful. It's just always there. As I'm working, I work mostly from a computer, either at my desk or out in the field. I'm still on my computer. If I'm not on my computer, I have my cell phone with me. I get emails all the time, forever and always, every day, every minute, so many times. The first half of World Without Email is explaining why we got to this state with email where it's just this constant attention-sucking burden. So this is one of the most well-researched professional development type books that I've read. It was written by Cal Newport, who's a computer science professor. So in there he explains how communication in an office evolved to the point that we needed email, or we felt like we needed email, but then email just took off. We feel this constant need to be checking. And as I was reading it, hello Java, as I was reading it, I was constantly feeling the need to check my phone, not just for my work emails, for my personal email, for Facebook, for Instagram, for Reddit, for Twitter, for just some kind of outside information. I needed that input. The first half of this book is just explaining how we got here, why the constant interruptions in our work to go check that new notification, go check that new email is bad, which if you've worked in an office since, I don't know, 2005, anybody's worked in an office since then, I feel like you get it. The amount of tasks that get thrown around, because it's really easy to just spit out an email to a coworker and be like, hey, can you take care of this? No, I can't take care of this. Can you take care of this? And then it just gets passed around so much because it wasn't that urgent that it needed to be taken care of right then, probably. Otherwise, you would have just done it. So also, email is a very low barrier to entry into someone else's time. The way that I used to think about it before reading this book was that, oh, I'll just write this out to them now. I don't need a reply at this moment. They'll get to it when they get to it. But what I learned very quickly, even if I put in the subject line, hey, don't open this until tomorrow, because I know that it's after your working hours, but it's during my working hours, they still would open it the second that they got the notification on their phone, which was just, we need a better system. Cal, in his book, outlines 4 principles you can start implementing in different ways in your life, in your workspace. If you're in a position of leadership, then you can start implementing these into your team communications and into your company communications, depending on where you are in that hierarchy. It can really help with your productivity, with your level of happiness, with your work-life balance. I'm going to share with you some of my little thoughts about it now. I really encourage you to go read this book. It is chock full of just engineering management, by which I mean all kinds of research and case studies of different management tools and communication styles. And so there are 4 principles. The first one is the attention capital principle. And basically, humans, even though we like to think that we're really good at multitasking, as soon as our attention gets interrupted by, an email notification or a phone call or a Facebook notification, any external input, shiny. We're not great at okay, I'm going to do this and then immediately switch back. There's a period of time that it takes for your brain to switch from task to task. Some people are better at it than others. I'll give you that much. But nobody's perfect at it. Like, it's not physically possible. So, he has the attention capital principle that basically says, stop switching tasks so much. Group like tasks together, if you're familiar with calendar blocking, that kind of thing. Turn off the notifications. Principle number 2 is the process principle. Build processes that make it less necessary for constant email communication. There's a lot of different productivity tools online already that he outlines. You can use task boards, like an IT ticketing system where you're not getting the email constantly that Barbara in accounting keyboard is broken again. It's all of the jam biscuits, Barbara. It's all the jam biscuits. Because those crumbs and the sticky jam bits get in the keyboard. It's not an IT problem. It's a snack problem. But there are other ways that you can do these processes, even just having a shared Excel file where you communicate back and forth. For my team, I have a metric that's due every Friday. I've got 3 different places for the 3 different teams that feed into that metric, and they know at 12:30 on Friday, I'm going to take whatever is there, and that's going to go into that metric. I trust that they're tracking their work properly so that I can track the work for the whole team, the whole group, and feed that up to management. And so then I don't have to send out an email every day saying, hey, did you update your metric? Did you update your percents? Did you update? They update their thing. They don't have to tell me when they updated it because I know whatever is there at 12:30 on Friday is what they want me to put in the metric. And that's the process. So create a process that you have accountability with your team, that they are going to do what they need to do. Part of your process could be the way that you update your teammates is during a daily or weekly meeting. That's when you do your updates. So you don't need to send constant update emails back and forth. I don't need to send an email to my boss letting him know every 20 minutes of work that I've accomplished, because I'll let him know during our update meeting. So then we've got the protocol principles, principle number 3. And there's kind of some overlap, a lot of overlap in my opinion. In the protocol principle, basically you're building up rules for how you communicate. And everybody's aware of those rules, everybody's cool with it. And this could be that we don't send emails after 5 p.m. Or it could be, I don't check my emails all day, every day. I check them at 8 a.m., I check them at 11, and I check them at 4:30 right before I go home. An example of a CEO or someone in here that he only sends short emails. If it's longer than 5 sentences, it deserves either a meeting or a phone call. I don't know that I agree with that. Because honestly, I would rather have a long email that I can refer back to later on when I forget what we talked about, rather than another meeting. Ugh. World without meetings. Cal, I have your next book idea. So there's lots of different protocols that he discusses, and it's just rules for how you communicate. And the last principle, principle number 4 that he talks about, is the specialization principle. This is where it kind of started getting away from the email thing for me and just kind of general good sense about being a worker person. There used to be a saying about jack of all trades but master of none, and this is saying don't be a jack of all trades. Learn how to say no if it's not something that you are meant to be doing. If there's someone who can be doing it better, if it's a skill that you want to learn, sure, go for it. But if it's not something that you should be doing, focus on the tasks that are actually associated with your role. And just because somebody sends you an email saying, hey, can you go do this thing for me? Or hey, can you be on this new outreach team for me or with me? Or can you head up our fundraising effort? It's great to help out and be a team player and get in on all these cool little efforts. But if that is taking away from your core responsibilities, that's taking away from your core responsibilities, and that's what your company is paying you to do. Am I the right person to be supporting these efforts? Is there something that we can either put into my core responsibilities or take out of my core responsibilities to help make me a more effective person at this company. Just know your limits and be careful that you don't fall into burnout. I've been there. I had to scale way back on certain commitments just because they weren't bringing me joy. They weren't benefiting me, and at the end of the day, if I'm being pulled in too many different directions, it's really at the detriment to those commitments that I need to be keeping. The ones that I said yes to first, or the ones that I have a more solid employment contract. If it's something that's taking away from your core responsibilities at work or in your personal life, it's okay to say no. Or it's okay to say, not right now, I've got some free time in a few months. If you can wait till then, cool. If not, go with God. But I can't be the one. At the end of the day, are we going to have a world without email? No. Email's not the problem, it's how we use email. And so if we can be more effective in our use of email, and we can scale back, if we can implement some new processes, some new protocols, pay attention to your attention capital, and focus on your specialization, then the emails will take care of themselves. Alright, so I am back. I have a new camera. Oh man, I've been looking at the viewfinder this whole time. I hope it wasn't terrible for you because I'm not re-recording this. I will work on that in my next video. I've got a lot of really great ones coming up. Most of them are kind of like booktubey. Like, am I gonna be a booktuber now? Probably not. Have a good night, sweet dreams, and I'll see you soon, hopefully. I said that last time and I lied.